Do you want to understand why Team USA is considered the most intimidating basketball team on the planet? Well, apart from the fact that they boast 90% of the top players in the world, or that they have Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Edwards available off the bench. Let me say that again, coming off the bench. Well, in addition to that, it's because they can win a game against Australia even when Steph Curry scores just 3 points on 1 of 6 shots. And if they can secure a victory when Steph is struggling, imagine how unstoppable they are when he's performing like the Steph Curry we all know. And when Steph Curry is in his groove, there's nothing you can do. We witnessed this in the third quarter against Canada, and now again in the first half against Serbia, where he dropped 18 points in just 10 minutes, effortlessly. Just take a look at him on the very first play of the game, where Embiid sets a screen off the ball, and with Jokic not stepping up, Steph casually sinks a 28-foot three-pointer. A minute later, they set up 2 screens for Steph, and even with Jokic stepping up this time, it's just a tiny gap. That little opening is enough for Steph to pull up for another 3. And what makes this so hard to defend is that you have to respect Steph's ability to put the ball on the floor. So if Jokic fully commits to the closeout, Steph would blow right past him, either finishing at the rim or finding an open teammate for an easy shot. The reason Steph Curry has been such a dominant force throughout his career is his ability to change the course of a game single-handedly in just a few minutes. After that early Curry outburst, the game evened out midway through the second quarter, but Steph had other plans. The same action with Embiid setting the screen, and with Jokic not stepping up, Steph is always going to make that shot. A minute later, he drives into the defense and finishes with a tough layup before delivering the Steph special. This is now the second of Team USA's 3 games where we've seen Steph explode for about 10 points in just 3 minutes. And when you have a team loaded with defensive talent, a 3-minute explosion from Steph can be the game changer. Not only does it put points on the board in a way that no one else can, but it also demoralizes the opponent. Just look at Jokic after that last Steph three-pointer. When you have to play a flawless game against a perfect opponent, the last thing you want to deal with is the greatest shooter in history. And this wasn't just any win for Team USA. They dominated one of the best basketball teams in the world, the same team that finished second at last year's World Cup without their star player, Nikola Jokic. That's the caliber of the Serbian team. Yes, they were missing Bogdan Bogdanovic, but Team USA is just on another level, and nothing illustrates their dominance better than their bench. As we've seen in a few exhibition games, the starters have been solid, but the bench has truly taken over these games. Especially 2 players, Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. Now, there have been many impressive performances for Team USA through 3 games, but without a doubt, by far, Anthony Davis has been the best player. He's been everywhere, from the offensive glass to the defensive glass, blocking every shot in sight. If you're looking for the best version of Anthony Davis, you're seeing it right now. And pairing that kind of player with perimeter superstars is almost unbeatable. Then you add in a guy like Bam Adebayo, who can do almost everything Anthony Davis can, and you have the definition of Twin Towers. But not just any Twin Towers. Twin Towers that can guard anyone on the floor at any moment. And in Bam Adebayo's case, well, it seems he's using the Olympics to turn himself into a legitimate stretch 4. Remember when I said it's demoralizing when Steph Curry hits threes? Well, it's even more demoralizing when you play perfect defense for an entire possession, only to have Bam Adebayo drill a 3. When he does it 3 times in one game, you might as well pack your bags and call it a night because it's just not going to be your day. But even if they didn't make any 3-pointers, just like Anthony Davis, the impact these 2 players have with their energy, defense, and rebounding is the best we've seen since Tim Duncan and David Robinson. And that's not an exaggeration. Just watch Anthony Davis on this play where he's being posted up. He stays down on the pump fake, and his length allows him to block the shot at its peak. Or this time, when he's switched onto a guard, he moves his feet perfectly before swallowing up the step-back jumper. It's this combination of timing, length, fluidity, and athleticism that makes him an all-time great defender. Now, when you pair him with another one of the league's best defenders, even a player like Jokic will struggle. Look at Jokic on this post-up against Anthony Davis. He spins, but Bam is right there waiting, so he's forced to kick it out. Team USA will live with anyone else taking that shot who isn't Jokic. Or in this play, where they run the pick and roll with Bam defending it. But there's no such thing as a clean look with these two on the floor. Get past Bam, and look who's waiting at the rim to block your shot. These two players could score 0 points on offense every night and still look like superstars because of their defense and rebounding. But they also happen to be players who routinely put up 15 to 16-point double-doubles in 20 minutes for Team USA. You'd think Anthony Davis has secured his spot as a starter, but Steve Kerr seems committed to starting Joel Embiid, and I'm not sure if this is something USA promised him when he switched allegiance. Team USA is so talented that it probably won't matter. But treating the Olympics like a charity event is absurd. It would be one thing if the competition between them was close, but Anthony Davis has been the best player on the team, while Joel Embiid has been the worst among those getting significant minutes. And I'm not even trying to be critical here. Anyone watching these games can see that, for some reason, Embiid isn't able to play within the flow of the offense. He consistently makes ridiculous turnovers, tries to draw fouls on absurd possessions, and doesn't play with nearly the same intensity on defense as Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. Maybe that will change in 2 weeks. He is one of the most talented players we've ever seen. But as of now, Team USA is taking a risk by not starting their best player. Now, when I said it probably won't matter if Embiid starts or not, well, it's because of the talent they already have. And this team will soon be adding Kevin Durant to the mix. That's right, just maybe the most gifted scorer ever, and the highest point scorer in US basketball history, will be joining the team. And Kevin Durant doesn't need any time to get up to speed. That jumper is still as pure as ever. Oh, and that guy, LeBron James, the same guy who was at the Olympics in 2004 when Anthony Edwards had just turned 3 years old? Well, he still looks completely unstoppable. After playing most of the games passively, just facilitating and playing some defense, LeBron decided to have some fun towards the end, catching a lob from Bam. And then on this play, he shows off his handles before bulldozing a Serbian defender and finishing through the contact. And that wasn't the only time he bulldozed a Serbian defender that night. Even at 39, no one else is that big, that strong, that coordinated, and that fast. You don't have to be a LeBron fan to just appreciate the athlete he is. It's unbelievable. In other news, the sky is blue, LeBron James and Steph Curry are good, and Team USA is going to be tough to beat.